So the Genius Graduate Educational Programs, of course, with the aerospace program with airplanes and the design program, and of course we started with the racing program for engineering to help give college engineering students amazing opportunity to help kickstart their careers. And in building the program, the first one that related to racing and cars, I knew that whatever we build had to be something that, there could be lots of great engineering projects to learn from for a long period of time, not just some car that you fix up and go race, because that's not what it's about. It's about the engineering, it's about the growth as a team, and the experiences to learn and to teach this to the young people. And there was a car that I saw that had come up available, and it was a mid-1990s WSC prototype car. Open cockpit, Le Mans type car. It was a Chevy V8 engine derivative, so that would work well economically because they make a lot of power and are reasonable to maintain. But what's great about a prototype car like this, it had the body molds, and I knew that if Genius Garage could acquire that car, it would be something that young people could test projects on and different modifications for years to come, because it's a prototype. If they want to design their own wing and test that and get data, they can do that. If they want to test their whole new cooling system or oiling system or the way air flows around the car, suspension or brakes, it's the perfect, no pun intended, vehicle for an educational program for years to come. And it happened to be that we got a donation, a really nice one to do that, and it actually gave us the opportunity to acquire the car. And it was a very reasonable car of that. It was less than half the price of its nearest comps, had lower history and such. So I was ecstatic and elated that this would be an amazing focal point for students to learn from. And it was down in Florida. And one of the students, Matt, I invited him. I'm like, Matt, you want to come down and pick up the car? We'll, go down, spend a day, hang out in Florida, the beach, see some cool race cars, and come back. So he's in. Road trip down, got it. And, I'm excited, trying to build this program and get this neat car to teach and learn. And Matt's ecstatic. We went and hung out at the beach, just had a little fun on the journey there and got it back up. So this is going to be an amazing program next year. And it was everything that I thought it would be. I remember one student, Cole, who graduated, mechanical engineering, and I think he's in aerospace engineering master's down at Ohio State now. He ended up taking the rear wing and making it an entire massive study. He utilized it to do tables of aerodynamic efficiency and stalls, and made his own wing fences and everything to test. So I'm just so excited that somebody can have that for the resume, and that helped him get into his master's program. And it was also funny too, because Cole's just off the charts intelligent. And I remember sitting at an open house, and he's explaining to his parents and his family what he's done in these tables. And I can tell that his family is really taking a great interest, but they have absolutely no idea what he's talking about. And it was really cute, we prepared the car, we modified it, we changed the cooling system, we redirected airflow, we're teaching the students that, and setup, and fuel cells and all this. And it was an amazing project. All of them liked it. I remember evenings, Madeline and Ryan and Devin were hanging out and doing it, and they just felt like $1 million. And we all built this together, and I taught them about the engineering and mentoring them on fabrication. And it's fun. It's fun to do that. Not only to do something you enjoy, but to get to teach where it matters. That's self-actualization of the car world right there. And it was an insane amount of work. I had to have a real job. I was buying and selling cars at a dealership at the time, and then my entire social life's gone to teach, but it was enjoyable. We tested the car at Mid-Ohio. It went well. Car had an IndyCar transaxle from the 80s. They used, borrowed parts and things to make this at the time, typical for the 90s prototypes and things. And it was great. They learned to do, all the tire data between Hoosier Tire would give us tires, really nice, and they learn about all the science behind that, all of it going, with an actual race car at speed and dynamics, and everything goes in a race car. It's practically infinite, the amount of learning, and it was great. And the races are fun with Genius Garage, but that's not what it's about. The whole reason I utilized racing to teach with is because you get to form a team. Students coming together as a team for a common goal is a great way for personal growth. And when you give them a real world opportunity that you mentor them hands-on and spend time with them, that's what young people need to grow. In college, there's not that many people teaching them to fabricate or doing hands-on engineering. And this is the thing that gets them the jobs. But to do something with them that we all enjoy and like is just wonderful. And we raced at Indianapolis, and we raced at Mid-Ohio that year. Indianapolis, I think we finished third both days. We did admirably. There were 2 cars that had way more downforce. But, and there are things to overcome. A header pipe blew off, so we all had to figure out how we're going to fix this, weld it up at the track. We had ignition system issues. We all had to strategize, what do we do with resources? What, things can we buy? And thankfully it's small block Chevy related and MSD and stuff, so we can go to AutoZones and get parts that might work. And, we come together as a team and we look at things critically and how do we get through these problems and succeed? And, we had a nice weekend. I mean, it wasn't without its difficulties for everybody, but that's where the growth comes out of it. And the Mid-Ohio is a beautiful weekend. It was something to pay attention to, though. I mean, we're running against Can-Am cars and prototypes, GTP cars, sports racers from Europe, 2 liters, things like this. I mean, it's pretty zoomy stuff. I remember there's a point where there was actually a McLaren Mark 8F Can-Am car that got squirrely and put it right in the wall. So, what we're doing matters. You got to do it right. And there were little things. We had a small issue with the brake pads that we bedded in. They were growing just enough in the calipers that they were sticking, and we were losing brake pedal efficiency. So in our first race, we finished 4th, dropped back a little. But when you come together and you have a complex machine, but with people as the human element, the growth comes from being able to learn from the people, use your eyes, use your hands, use your instruments and your data to figure it out and make the best educated guess. Because then you have one race. How do you take your best educated guess with what you've learned from the engineering and what you're seeing with the data, with the shocks, with all the rebounding, with the little bump at Mid-Ohio in the carousel to have it come out of there, right, with the cars and everything like that, and to succeed. And there are little things, maybe like an oil cooler started to crack a little bit on the transaxle, which we caught and fixed. And, it was all hands on. But the thing that's amazing with this too is everybody's still human. Everybody is enjoying themselves. They know they're growing, they know they're working, we're all doing it together, but we all enjoy each other's company and doing something amazing together. And that's a lot of the magic of Genius Garage and why people grow so much and learn so much and end up getting hired. Because something that they're passionate about, cars and racing, they get to really sink their teeth into but learn everything from. Anyway, the race on Sunday, I think there was a GTP car that had an ignition issue or something on the warm-up lap, drop back, so we're up to 3rd, or he was out. And so the car was in 3rd and running well, running hard. I think we went on the outside of turn 1 around a Daytona prototype, so we're up in 2nd. And they actually combined groups, so there's some Formula cars in there too. And there was a gorgeous and very well-driven Shadow Formula 5000 car from the later time. So it actually ended up being like spot-on lap time with our car, but because it's a Formula car, it kind of brakes later and teleports away and whatnot. So our car was doing great, but it was probably one of the most amazing vintage races you've ever seen, because you've got a Daytona prototype with our 90s WSC car and this Shadow Formula 5000 nose to tail the entire race within a car length, 2 car lengths. Back straightaway, people doing this, guarding little and braking, being smart, almost passing, not passing, the entire race. And it was a beautiful thing to see. It was a beautiful thing to be part of as a team. The students loved it. And, the Formula car obviously wasn't in our group, so the driver was smart not to try to pass and do something silly, just maintain first and beat the prototype. And they ended up winning the Group 10 prototype class. And that's amazing. Students get to take a new car that needed a lot, use their engineering acumen, figure it out all together, and then also goes to show that you don't have time to test it before that next race. You've got to take your best guess, just like you have to do in real life. Real life engineering. And so it was an amazing lesson, and it was another amazing year at Genius Garage. And I was personally happy as the guy who led the program and really going to get this car, because I thought it would be a great engineering centerpiece for years to come. And it was and is. It was a very memorable year with that WSC Le Mans prototype and Genius Garage students.
At Dollar Shave Club, you're always in control. Simply choose the delivery dates and frequency that suits your schedule so you don't run out. Get a shave, shower, or oral care starter set for just $5 at dollarshaveclub.com.